Welcome back to Medrash Umaisa, sharing a story for Aseret Yimei Tshuva and Yom Kippur, which is coming. The great Rav of Rehovot, Rav Simcha Kook, a very beloved Rav of that city, who passed away just a bit over a year ago, I believe, was someone who had a connection to all the different members of his community. Those who are more religious, those who are less religious, those from this cultural background or the other one. And he had the custom during Aseret Yimei Tshuva, during the 10 days of repentance between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, to go from community and community, and especially from school to school, speaking before Yom Kippur in every school in the city. That meant not only the yeshivas, not only religious schools and elementary schools, but even the schools that catered to a non-Torah observant public, in which none of the students really were very observant at all. One year, he was scheduled to speak in such a school. I don't like to use the word, what's called a Chiloni school. And a few days before, he had a grandchild. And he was invited to, or informed about the bris in Yerushalayim, and asked to serve as the sandik, to hold the baby for the bris, as grandfather. He didn't know what to do. He was scheduled to speak in that school, but grandson's bris, and he was supposed to be the sandik. He asked the question to Rav Yosef Shalom Elyashiv Zatzal. Rav Elyashiv said to him, he says, what are you going to do with the bris? You'll be the sandik, you'll say brachas, you'll give the name. He said, any of those things can be done by somebody else. Nobody but you can do what you're able to do speaking in that school. You must skip the bris and keep your scheduled appointment to speak in the school. And so he did. A while after Yom Kippur, a teenage boy came over to him and told him the following. He said, Rabbi, you spoke in our school before Yom Kippur. I had never really fasted on Yom Kippur before. That year after you spoke, I decided that I was going to do it. I did okay through the nighttime. In the daytime, I started getting really thirsty. At one point, I said, okay, that's enough. And I went over to the refrigerator and took out a can of Coke. I was about to drink it, but then I saw the image of you speaking in our school. And I remembered some of the things you said, and I put the Coke back. A couple hours later, I was really, really thirsty. I went to the fridge again, and I took out that cold can of Coke. But before I popped the top open again, I remembered you. I remembered your talk. I remembered seeing you and the way you addressed us, and I put it back. That repeated itself a few times, he said, throughout Yom Kippur. And I fasted the entire time. Thank you. Part of tshuva on Yom Kippur is not just for the wrong things that we knew we did that were wrong and the right things that we want to continue doing that were right, but to realize that sometimes we make wrong choices. We don't understand the Torah's real sense of priorities. That's why we need to go to Gedolim who see the bigger picture and can help us lay that out. On one hand, it may seem so simple to simply cancel that speaking of, it's a family bris, a grandson. What's even the question? The Torah views things differently. Part of our tshuva has to be to return to seeing the world through the lens of the Torah and to get our priorities straight. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu help us, enlighten our eyes, be able us to see clearly, and wishing everyone a good Yom Kippur, a meaningful Yom Kippur, a Gmar Sima Tova, and a wonderful year. Kol Tov.